It's totally different than just installing on a regular job. The time aspect to it, the crowd, the nerves get to you. And the prize money's huge right now, so why not? I mean, if you're already installing, why not go try it? Could have a great day where everything goes smooth and all of a sudden you just won some money and a title and a trophy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Born to Tint podcast with the Miller Brothers. I'm Ricky. I'm glad to be here with my big brother, Josh. Today, it's just going to be me and him. We're doing a recap of WFCT. So, what is your biggest takeaway from this year's competition?
Biggest takeaway? Well, first, it was good to see everybody and be back at it again. It was fun to show up with a big group the way we did. It's fun getting to see a lot of people compete for the first time. I don't know. My biggest takeaway is always just getting to see everybody from the industry, the networking. It's cool to see some familiar faces on the stage at the end again, people making finals. Some people that's competing for the first time make finals and even win. It's funny because there's always people that show up that aren't competing, and sometimes it's their first time there, or maybe they've been before, and it's one of the first questions that you always ask is like, are you competing? And hear a lot of people say no, but I'm going to do it next year. And I don't know, my big thing I'd want to say, if you're listening to this, if you've ever thought of going and you're afraid to go compete, like just do it. You got to get that first one out from underneath your belt. I don't think I made the finals until after I had already competed for like 4 or 5 years. I think 7 or 8 years before I finally won a division. So it's totally different than just installing on a regular job. The time aspect to it, the crowd, the nerves get to you. Even this year, I made a big giant bonehead mistake, and with the time crunch, that was it. It was over. And I knew it like 5 minutes in, like, well, I'm done. So it's like, if you're interested in doing it, and the prize money is huge right now, so why not? I mean, if you're already installing, why not go try it? You could have a great day where everything goes smooth and all of a sudden you just won some money and a title and a trophy. So that's one of the things that stuck out to me. I had that conversation with several people that came up to me and like recognized me from the podcast or whatever, and it's like, yeah, I'd probably do it, but I don't know if I'm ready yet. Like, nobody's ready, just do it.
No, I agree. Biggest takeaway, almost the same thing. The one thing that I loved that happened that I was hoping was the presence. Having 13 guys wearing our shirts, that was pretty cool. I mean, everyone I kind of talked to, and then beyond people I talked to, seeing WFCT do their posts, and like in almost every single one of their posts, there was a picture of one of us. So you would see our shirt front and center on everything. So like, that was awesome. One of the videos right now that Carlos and David Carly doing commentating on the finals. No, was it the finals round? No, it was on the prelim round of Marcus.
Yeah,
is upwards of 20 million plus views right now. Like, yeah, I love the fact that it's like I see our company, our shirt front and center. Like, you see the sleeve, you see TintWiz, you see Solar Guard. Like, it's. Yeah, that was awesome. I mean,
and the shirts are crazy cool this year too. So I got a huge shout out to TintWiz.
Yeah,
getting these done.
Yeah, those things came out awesome. We definitely stuck out. So that was goal accomplished on that. Seeing how everyone competed, even all the new guys their first time, you can definitely tell. I wouldn't say the nerves got to them, but you can try to explain how it's going to feel, but until you get into it, you don't know. And I agree with you. If you are ever thinking about doing it, just do it. Talk to your manufacturer. Majority of the manufacturers now are definitely looking for people to sponsor just because they want their name out there as much as possible. They want a presence. So talk to Nathan from TN Tint in Tennessee, out in Nashville. Pretty much, I don't know, shamed him, but into the point of, he said he's going to compete next year. And I was like, I'm going to hold you to it. I was hoping to see him compete this time around, but he was coming for the networking experience, and I talked with him probably at length a couple different times. And I was like, dude, you better compete next year. Just do it. Who cares? Like, even Fuller, I'm gonna have to berate Kyle Fuller into competing too. I mean, it's just fun to compete against people. Always enjoyed competing against everyone within our company competing against you. I know it definitely does come off or I know I come off extremely cocky when it comes to talking about my brother. Obviously we grew up in sports. We're very competitive. We're very competitive with each other. And if anything, I would say it's more of a gimmick or shtick when we are going back and forth with each other.
We do like to talk trash back and forth every now and then.
It's obviously sibling rivalry, and he's beat me at things in my life. I've beaten him things in his life, and it's a fun thing to go back and forth in. But nothing would have made me, or when that day does come and you are holding that trophy up there, nothing will make me happier than that. So
yeah, no, that's another thing too. It's good to see you make the finals again. I definitely thought it's funny when they called Marcus and then they called Joe. I'm like, no way. This would have been like the perfect outcome. Like, is it going to be Ricky? And then Carlos too. That was the other thing. So really glad to see him there. I know that like Tinner Battles was supposed to be part of it this year and then it wasn't. And he's still got the Tinner Battles coming up here soon. It's really cool to see him there, and the fact that they had him come MC the awards. Yeah. I'm really glad to see that happen. And then, I mean, he did what he does. He showed up on the floor, and I think it was the best use of probably of him was being there doing the commentation and recording stuff. It was cool to see that happen and see that those videos are already taking off. I'm sure they're going to have plenty more videos that go viral.
Well, that's the one kind of feedback I'm going to give to Sarah when we write in. I mean, I actually she's going to get my email and be like, wow.
Oh, she's going to hear this too, probably.
Oh, well, it's one of the feedbacks going to be, because I talked to David about it. Like the one thing that they couldn't do is they couldn't go on the competition floor, because WFCT, obviously they're a lot more strict when it comes to, you hit the competition floor, like, no distractions, don't talk to nobody. You're there to do your window, nothing. So they don't want people in there, I'm assuming, obviously, because you could kind of get in the way. They don't want people too close. So me and him are talking about it. And he's like, but the only downfall is, like, I like the aspect of you guys being on the outskirts and then the installing happening on the background. Is I want to ask Sarah, like, I think it'd be a great idea is if you expand, if it can be done, expand the competition grounds where people are competing, leave everybody in the same size, but leave like a 2-foot walk lane around the outskirts of each competition, to where if Carlos and David want to step in, to where they can have access to walk in front of each person quickly. Because they said the only problem was when there were big crowds is navigating through people to get to the front, then to do their thing. I love what they did. To have them on the inside competition floor, to where all they can do is say, hey, we're putting yellow tape down. Do not talk directly to the competitor, because when you're in that kind of competition, personally, I like talking in some competitions, and I do like WFCT, to where it's like, I'm left in my own world. Don't talk to me. Let me do my job. I don't want to be bugged right now. To where they can sit there and give their commentary from inside the pole, but not to where they can move freely around. And just literally, as soon as the round, you have in flat glass, you have 16 minutes. So you devote about 1.5 minutes to each person talking about who the competitor is, what they're doing at the time, move to the next person. And you're going to hit everybody in a different stage of their install, and then just let people know what they're doing. And I think it'd be great, because looking at their videos, I love their videos. Yeah. The videos turned out awesome. I am going to give David Carley some shit. When they were talking about the finals, it was Marcus and Joe, and then they were talking about who their favorite was. He picked Marcus, so I am
with that hair.
I know. I'm just messing around. Believe me, I know who anyone in the finals is the top contender, because to make the finals alone is already so hard to do to begin with. So there was a guy from Midwest Tint that I talked to. There's a couple other guys, don't remember the names I talked to, but like, there were killers at this event, and having Maxim win too. Like I've seen him every year since. I didn't realize that 2015 was his first year, so his first competition was in Reno.
Oh, really?
In flat glass, he only did flat glass then.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
For it to come full circle to where we go back to Reno 10 years later, and then he snags the title, like that was awesome. Like I was extremely happy for him.
He made auto final too.
Yeah, he's always at the top. He is one of those guys that has always been at the top. It's never gone across the line. And like his finals window was legit. And like, as far as what
he was behind me in my round, so he was in the same round as myself and Marcus. And when he came back to his window, it looked really good. So it's like the fact that they combined the scores too. That was cool.
Well,
first and second round being combined was pretty cool.
That was the cool curveball to the competition this year. Was them telling us that after we completed the finals, which, I mean, finding out before or after the preliminary round, like it would have, I mean, it's still going to be the same outcome when it does come down to it.
I feel like they might have said it before that. People just didn't hear it, because Marcus knew immediately.
No, because he talked to Sal. I called Marcus right after I talked to Sal. I called Marcus immediately after, and he had already talked
No, I
to
mean,
Sal.
when he was coming off the floor doing his first round, when we were talking, he knew it was combined.
Oh, me and him didn't. No, me and
Maybe
him
it was after he finished. No, it was after he finished the finals.
Yeah, it was finals.
Yeah, but it was like right after he finished.
Yeah, he talked to Sal like right after. Yeah, no, me and him, I called him. He's like, yeah, I talked to Sal. Because at first I thought I was surprising him or something. And he's like, oh, no, I talked to Sal. I'm like, oh, you beat me to it. But that got my hopes up more, finding that news out, because I liked my finals, but I knew the areas that I was short on. And what happened is, like, I didn't cut my patterns big enough. I ended up being short in one corner on my left window and I had to center my pattern. So I had a gap in my bottom left corner. And I had
But it was like a thin little...
barely anything.
Yeah.
But on the right side, but you could see the edge of the film though. The rubber wasn't pressed up enough to where the rubber was just free floating there to where I couldn't pull the rubber out to cover. If it was a rubber that was actually pressed in there, I could have covered it and I'd been fine. So I should have shifted that over and just dealt with the gap on the one side, and I would have just got knocked for that. And I was trying to get a little too cute with that. And just when I cut my left side, I forgot to do my double check to make sure all my sides were covered. So as soon as I cut my left side, I went to go cut my other corner. And that's when I realized, like, oh no, I just shorted my window. And it's like in my head, I had to process, like, am I going to redo this, or I'm just going to see what I can do with it? And I just went with it, see what I can do with it. And had some extra time to tighten up my edges. I didn't take my own advice in the first round, which definitely was detrimental. And then also with leaving a piece of film on my ladder on the second round. I called time with 30 seconds to go in the first round. I shouldn't have. If I would have done one more look back at my window, I would have seen my one corner, which I do have the video. Everyone asked me, like, what were you flipping off? And I was like, the corner that had a bunch of water in it. After I threw my dun sign up, I knew instantly that I'd screwed myself. I had enough time and I had the right tool in my hand to where I could have pressed that corner down. But, you know, in the heat of the moment, for some reason I thought time was going to come into play in the prelims, because I did see a good amount of people finish their first three. And in my mind, no one's window was perfect. Marcus was the closest one. Marcus, I think that's what got him into third place, was his first round was so good.
clean, yeah.
Because he ended up having to pull a second piece in the finals.
Yeah.
And even with that, he still got third.
If he didn't need to do that, I think he would have won.
Oh yeah,
that was the window that had a couple marks on it, and it was because he just ran out of time.
Yeah, he had some moisture.
Well, you guys only had like 16 minutes too, right, for two panes?
But we had an extra minute 30 though per pane, or a minute 10 or something like that per pane. But yeah, going up and down the ladder. So I know what things I'm going to do next year, because everyone was getting measurements of the windows and taking pictures, and like I'd walked over to a couple of them, like, hey, definitely do that. But I'm telling you right now, these will not be the same next year. Sal's already said it.
Yeah.
Like, the reason why they double side tape those metal pieces onto those windows is they plan on changing the windows next year to where they're going to put a different configuration, same three windows, which I love that. The fact that it's like now you can change the same window every year.
Yeah.
You know, you can always have something different.
Yeah, it's a good solution to change it up for sure.
Well, what do you think about this idea? I want to tell Sarah, I want to tell Sal this too. Like, there's a good way to make it to actually score people to where did you pull more than one 38-inch piece? Have everyone pull their pieces before the heat starts. You pull two pieces, go through your film, find your two perfect pieces, roll them up and get them ready. When they hit competition floor, everyone set their tools down, put your tint patterns down, and then go. Everyone's got the same pulled film. Now let's see who uses the two pieces to get factory edges on all the windows, or who takes the one piece and cuts it into three pieces and leaves the other piece non-touched. That person, in my eyes, should get like an extra point. There should be some kind of, like, that's the only way to do it, because you can't do it out of the box, because everyone just rolls it back onto the box. So it makes judging hard. But it's like,
now, but I think now that it's three windows like that, the judging's pretty easy. Look, a lot of people didn't even finish.
Yeah, but I think you should be credited. You should technically be higher if you're able to do it in one piece. It pushes your skills to a further limit.
Oh yeah, you saved material. It could be. I don't know. I like the fact that they made it a lot harder. It was definitely difficult. I mean, I was so psyched being in the last round, having other people that had competed, knowing kind of the rough measurements of the windows. You know, I had the plan in place to drop one pattern and just use the one pattern, which I think Marcus actually did pull separate pieces for everything.
He did. Yeah,
clearly was a good strategy. Yep. I considered it. But seeing what you did kind of changed my mind. And then it's like, okay, I've got the rough measurements. The one piece is big enough that you could chop it down on the ground on the pad with the box like you did. But rather than, I saw you waste probably a minute or two of time moving your box back and forth and then measuring each side. And when you'd move one side, the other side would move. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to fix that because I like that idea. But I grabbed a Sharpie.
I just didn't have one in my box.
Yeah, I went and got one because I saw you. And I'm like, I'm going to grab a Sharpie and go liner side up. And then I pulled a Diego. Diego, I'm sorry. I've already said this in another video. So Diego, first time competing ever. These are weird shaped windows. So if you're going to cut the pattern to size, you have to make sure that it's facing the right direction. There's a sticky side to the film, and then there's the tint side. So if you cut a weird shaped pattern and you mix up your left and your right side, the pattern's not going to fit. And that's what he did. He recut it and was still able to get all 3 windows done, which is impressive. I was so psyched because the 2 minutes to cut patterns, I like laid it down, used the Sharpie, marked it, cut it. It was maybe a minute into the actual 20 minutes when I'm done with my patterns. I've got them sitting on the pad behind me. Cool, I'm prepping a window already. My patterns are ready to go. Clean that window, get ready to stick it, go to grab the pattern off the ground. And there's a video of this that you can see me realize what I did. I had everything written down, left side, right side. And when I laid it down on the ground, I didn't even for 1 second consider checking which direction that would make the pattern be. So I cut all 3 pieces backwards to where none of them would fit. And honestly, now that I'm even thinking about it, I probably still could have used the 2 smaller ones just by turning them around because they were still big enough. But I didn't even think about it in the moment. I'd already put my box of film under the table with the lid on it. And I watched you and everybody else install down to like the last couple seconds. And I already know I'm not the fastest. And it was like, you can see me pause and be like, I was so contemplating just balling it all up and just walking away because I knew I was done. But I didn't. I grabbed the box back out. Then I tried, all right, I'm just going to pull the piece out without measuring it over the existing pattern. And then I'm just going to use the existing patterns to cut it real quick. But then I realized I needed to flip the film in order to actually make it a mirror image. So all of a sudden I was liner against liner instead of film against film or film against film. I had it to where liner against liner is going to slide and then film against film is going to stick. And I flipped it to where it was film against film and it wasn't sliding. Got super frustrated, balled up the patterns that I already had. Instead of just, even the big one that I had, I could have used for the bottoms and I could have just cut that in half and I would have been good to go for the bottoms. Recut all 3 patterns. It's like 10 minutes to go and I haven't stuck a piece of film. And so my top one turned out pretty good for me rushing it as bad as I did. But it's like, I knew I was done. And then my first little one that I kind of barely finished before time was about to run out. My slip solution was heavy, so it was like sliding around. I made a cut and realized that it slid, and I was lucky enough that I could move it again and recut it. And it just, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong in that constraint of time.
Yeah.
Give me 10 more minutes, I would have had 3 perfect windows, but it is what it is. So it definitely was a big enough curveball to totally mess me up. In the moment, and everybody attacked it differently too. So that was cool to see. Is like everybody did it differently. I saw Cedro stuck. I think he's done this before in the past, and it's actually pretty smart. He sticks the whole pattern up against the frame, squeegees it to the frame, and then cuts his sides perfectly on the frame. And because he's tucked his rubbers, those sides are ready to just lay in.
Yeah, me and him talked about it. Because we also talked about the whole tucking thing.
Yeah.
And he's on the same page as me. The only time we tuck.
Yeah.
And he's like, I literally watched you do it, and this is the only time I do it. And I was like, this is literally the only time I ever attempt to tuck anything ever.
Yeah.
Is this competition?
Yeah.
Otherwise I don't do it. So
yeah,
it's
I'm the same way. And that was the other thing I kind of planned on from the beginning, and I did differently than you. And if I didn't mess up cutting my patterns, I think it would have worked out well and saved me the extra couple minutes I needed to really have a good window. Is I only tucked one side, and I threw my pattern on. Factory top, cut the side and the bottom and the angle of the window. I knew based off of the side that I tucked, that pattern was going to be big enough that when I went to install it pre-cut, I was going to be able to factory my top and my right side and get it to bump under the edge a little bit on the top and the side. And it worked out well. The bottom edge was still nice and clean. And the little bit of extra gap I created was just on the tucked side, so it didn't matter. That window came out well, and it untucked really easy. So it's like how well that one went for me being under all the pressure of knowing I'm at least 5 minutes behind where I should be. I'm pretty confident that one would have turned out like really clean had I not cut everything backwards. Yeah. But you know, it was fun. The whole rest of the competition was exciting. Yeah, and then the timing of our rounds going off wasn't the best with everything going on. That was a bummer too. So yeah, the whole Charlie Kirk thing, we had just found out about that right as Ricky was getting ready to go. Yeah. So that kind of put a downer on that whole day of competition. So that definitely,
it was a good bunch.
Yeah. No. And you could see that on the whole floor of everybody competing that day too.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. Day one being the decorative competition, enjoyed it. It was fun working together with a team. Like our communication was really good, and the fact of like if someone's working on something, hands off, and then the cards fell in that competition. But the other two designs were awesome. Like it was definitely stressful in the point of going into something I've never gone into before. But obviously we got to lean on Marcus. And, we've talked about probably going to run it back next year. To be honest, I think I'm going to tell Sarah, I think the people that compete in decorative should be allowed to compete in 2 more competitions because if you want to make decorative a bigger competition, because there's only 3 people that competed this year. Usually it was 4. This year was only 3. So if you want to get more people involved in that decorative competition, you need to allow them to at least compete in 2 others. Because I guarantee you there are multiple installers that are not doing decorative because they still want to do auto and flat. Me being one of them. It's like I still want to go after auto again. I don't think I'm done with trying with auto. Like this year would have been like, not say if I would have won this year, but like what cars they ended up picking, the fact that it was only 2 doors that you had to do in the first round to get to the second round, and like 2 doors are, that's the one thing I'm really good at is doors. So it's like, damn, I would have loved doing it this year because the previous year was a quarter window and a door. And quarter windows, it's either you nail it or it completely backfires on you and it's pinched and gets dirt. So it is, I think that they should at least allow whoever's going to do decorative, allow them to do 2 more competitions.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Because
I wouldn't want to do that though, because the decorative takes so much time. Like already 3 hours of installing.
I would, Sarah.
2 hours of waiting for the judging. Like you missed everything else on day 1 on the floor. And then even just doing flat glass and not even being in the finals. Okay. I felt like I hardly had any time on the floor to like mingle and chat with people and check stuff out.
Add to that, where the decorative was taking place, I mean, I think it should totally be fine. Let us go on the competition floor, take all your tools and shit off, make sure you have somewhere to put all that. Don't go look at your window. If you get caught looking at your car being judged, disqualification, DQ. Otherwise, you can walk the floor. I still don't understand that. That makes no sense to me. Why can't we walk the floor? You harass the judge, you say anything to the judge, or if you're standing there, it doesn't matter.
They got to spend time and energy making sure you don't, though.
No, they don't, because there are plenty of people on the floor that are going to be watching you and want to find a reason.
That's extra drama. Though.
I found that out myself when I accidentally dropped my tape measure and picked it up and walked off the competition floor. I will neither confirm or deny what I did in that situation, but it 100% got back to the judges. Me and Sal talked about it, about the tape measure. So it is. In these competitions, you look for any gray area to step into, and I've always done that. And I think that's one of the reasons why this year they didn't let us cut patterns to begin with. The majority of the people that have been to these competitions over and over again know the size of the window, and I use that time to my advantage. They took it away this year, which was smart. It makes it more of an even playing field, and I was very vocal what those sizes of the windows were anyway. But that's why I also think like, let everyone pull their 2 patterns beforehand. The window sizes aren't changing. Give everyone the same edge. Let them actually go through their film. That was one thing in the finals that I got hit with, where obviously it's either next year I need to go through my film no matter what. It's the first time I've actually ran into a manufacturer defect in my film. I've never checked. Usually I've never had that with Solar Guard. It's probably like the one out of
I've never seen it.
1 out of 20 times in my entire career that I've had a defect in.
What was it?
2 perfect little scratches that like made this perfect.
Oh, so just the beginning of the roll. So that's not a defect.
No,
that's just it got scratched.
I pulled 3 feet off and threw that shit away before I started. I did that to all my rolls.
Well, then maybe you just scratched it in the process and didn't realize it.
There's no way I can create 2 of the exact same scratches like a centimeter away from each other, perfect with each other. I don't. In that area of the window, I don't tool that window over there. It was in the middle of the window. I noticed it after I was finishing my second window, and I looked at it and I was like, I thought it was a hair. And then I went back out and I saw red circled around it, which I knew was going to happen. And I looked at it. I'm like, all right, it's not a hair. I'm a little happier about that. It's just a scratch. I'm only going to lose so many points on it, but you know, it is what it is. I should have inspected my film better, which I've never ran into that before. Been doing flat glass competition now for 9 years. I've never had that happen. So now it has. I'll learn from it. I look forward to next year. I don't think much will change. They don't need to change much. I think they should just combine if they don't change anything else, the one thing they should change is 25 minutes, start to finish, walk in, set all your stuff down. Because then this also, this technically kind of goes against what I always say is get your station ready. Rip that away. Walk into the floor, set your stuff down. Do not touch anything else. And then just say go. Roll the cut time and whatever other time because some people, I mean, I heard this a lot. The first and second heat, they're like, we barely had 2 minutes. And in the third round, it felt like Brian gave us an eternity. You know, and that's what people were saying. So you get rid of that too. It's like you go in, don't touch nothing. Go, you got 25 minutes. Cut, inspect, do whatever. You got 25 minutes, do your thing. Sarah was pushing for that. Judges shut it down. So
I would like that. And put up a damn clock that everybody can see on both ends. They do it for the automotive.
This is the first year they haven't. They did it last year. I don't know why they didn't do it this year.
Yeah, put a clock on both. Those are like $10 on Amazon. Like just put some clocks up and let the time be running.
Yeah.
Like,
no, this is the first time I haven't seen them do that. So that was surprising. But beyond flat glass, we had multiple people compete in PPF. You know, all the Foster's first time. It's me and him talked about it. He goes, dude, the time. He is definitely in solid. Like the unknown of not knowing what kind of car, and then also the unknown of competing underneath a time restraint. Like now he knows. I look forward to next year. I think he's going to crush next year.
Well, shoot, just everybody in general. We had somebody in every finals but rap.
We had Chris Peterson in PPF and in auto, which, you know, from day one, as soon as he was asking around for a sponsor, which blew my mind.
I didn't know his brother was there competing until I found out they were both in the final together. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I didn't know that either. But yeah, no, when the first conversation went down with me and Chris, it wasn't even a conversation. It was him posting on social media that he was looking for a sponsor, which blew my mind. I instantly reached out to him, dude, I'll sponsor you. Like, I know how good you are. I've seen you've won twice. You're always at the top every single year. And I was very happy that I reached out to him. It was cool seeing our shirts and everything. You know, so he covered the finals and he made the finals in auto and flat. He took second in PPF.
Yeah.
And then Solar Guard took first and second. They had another guy. He was from China, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we do make the claim of world champion, it 100% is the guy who won PPF was from young too. I think he was like 21, 22.
Yeah. Had to have an interpreter.
From China and absolutely dominated PPF. So Solar Guard was able to take the first and second. And then Chris, he didn't podium in auto, no. But Maxim did. He podium. Not only did he win, he has joined the elite class of, I think there's 4 people now. Chris Brooks, Les Helton, Sal, and Maxim. Those are the only 4 people to ever double podium.
What did he get in auto?
Third, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, nice. That's crazy, man.
Or second. I think he might have took second. No, he took second, dude.
Oh,
he took second.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So it was only a matter of time for him. Like, I mean, I see his installs once a year, obviously. And
has anybody ever finaled 3 years in a row in architectural?
Mm-mm.
So that was an achievement.
I'm very happy with what I ended up doing. Like, being lucky enough to go 2 years in a row, finals 2 years in a row, I'd been happy. But winning 2 years in a row, going into the third year, like, one sec, I had a target on my back, but 100%, like, I had a target on my back. Everyone's looking, but But it was fun. I enjoyed the pressure.
So Carlos, he was ready when he set the whole thing up at the award ceremony to do the and still, but he kind of slipped a little bit because he set that all up and then he should have said and new when he announced who won.
I've ran through that kind of in my head, and I've seen more of the videos he's posted and the conversations I was having. I was the first person to find out because how Sarah was doing it is, if anything, they probably should do this a little bit different next year. It's another thing. Don't put us all behind you and flip a piece of paper in front of us.
I saw it for decorative too. For decorative, when they flipped it over on,
I couldn't see how.
I totally saw it, and I was like already deflated because you haven't announced it yet, but we can see it from behind you.
So that's what happened with Arc. That's what happened. When she flipped it, I saw his name, and it's like, all right, no, it's not me. But like that was the one thing. Like Carlos was slightly delayed, and when it was being flipped, to the reaction of all of us behind, seeing, all right, we know who won now. But no, yeah, it was
decorative was one that it was weird because I definitely felt like the other two teams' design was better, but getting a chance to like look at the installs on both, like the quality, I wasn't there for the judge meeting. Was there even a judging meeting for decorative?
Yeah, we had questions. So, I asked if I could tuck rubbers, and there's now that
I'm just confused on how it's judged because the
scorecard's online.
Yeah, I get that it's decorative and the art should matter quite a bit, but like quality of install wise, after looking at them all after they were done, I definitely felt like I liked the other two designs better. But our quality of install, having Marcus, you, myself, his son, we worked together really well, and we made ours really complex with how many pieces there were. And the quality of ours was by far the cleanest install out of all of them.
I think we leaned a little too heavy on, I wouldn't say we relied on that, but we kind of did to a point, not realizing it. And my first time experiencing it, and I know how to go about it differently.
I think we just need to pay a really good designer to design it next time, because the design does matter a lot.
We had two people lined up, and then they ghosted, or one ghosted, and one was just a different situation. And then, unfortunately, I took on too much myself. I blame myself for that. That's not Marcus's fault. That's my fault. So I take ownership in that. So, but I want to know how much it's weighted each way, because yes, obviously install should matter, because if you have to go out and replace a piece, even if it's the coolest design in the world, I mean, these are supposed to be customer ready installations. So it should have some weight to it. Unfortunately for the, I forget the team name, the one to the right, when you're looking at them, the guy that they had the realistic prints.
Yeah.
What sucked, and I felt bad, and I have a feeling that if their prints didn't come the way they did, they would have won.
Oh, I think so.
100%. The fact that how their stuff got shipped and the edges were destroyed, it looked like a horrible install, but it wasn't at all. So if you guys saw that installation, you're looking at their edges and you're probably judging them on the fact of like, wow, you guys you cut with a tree saw. It was how it was shipped. The edges got destroyed, and there was nothing they could do but just lay it and just go with it. And their design was pretty awesome. How they had the realistic print from front to back, like it was a cool design. It just sucks to see someone put that much time and work into something, and unfortunately, either being FedEx, UPS, whatever it was, it being knocked around, destroying the edges. That sucked.
It was really cool too, seeing like based off the description of the theme we had to go on, seeing how close all three were. Like
except every people that won, they're the only ones that did not put Tahoe anywhere.
The back with the balloons was basically a view from Tahoe.
But that's of the Reno Valley of the balloons.
Yeah,
and I think that's where. And I've thought about that. The theme, and Marcus has said it really relies on the theme. We really leaned into Tahoe. So did the other team. Nowhere in the theme does it talk about Tahoe is a different city.
Yeah, but it's so related.
But it is, but it isn't. They solely went on Reno on one side, and then the balloon festival in the desert, which I didn't even know it was a thing.
So you know where we really messed up, and I realized it as I was leaving, going through the Reno airport. We had such a huge opportunity to do such a cool backside. Burning Man just happened, yo.
Oh, I didn't know.
Burning Man has so much cool imagery. That's where we messed up. The backside should have been Burning Man heavy. That would have been a cool design. Yeah. But I like the fact that, like, especially the guys next to us and ours, the tint for the sky, they did like a more of a pinkish sunset, sunrise, Reno on one side and then Tahoe on the back. It was like, these are very similar.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely bit off the same thing, which is funny part too, because AI designed theirs too. And that's technically what designed ours too, is just me influencing AI to give me images. And then we had it digitized, and then Jordan really gave it an extra punch, changing a bunch of the design.
Yeah, we needed 1 or 2 layers that were more hyper realistic, because the style we did would have been cool if the background layer of the mountains was like realistic and everything in front was more of the vector cut style. It would have given it like more of a layered look. But it is what it is. I mean, I do think that design should matter in a decorative competition. So
no, that was the only thing with watching everyone's go up. I knew that if it was an installation based category, now I'm trying to make this claim being cocky, without a doubt, we had the cleanest installation. And that big part of that, huge shout out to Richard, Glenn Jackson, and the pork tint sauce.
Yeah, we use that stuff like crazy on that install.
I am definitely the mindset of a very big minimalist when it comes to tools, and all the new gadgets and stuff come out, just because we grew up in the era where we had nothing. I had my reservations about that, and how he's letting it grow organically is me and him had a couple of long, extensive conversations. And I told him he's got to come out because he's out of LA. I was like, dude, you got to come out. We got to sit down and actually record. He spent 1 week pushing it out himself. And then after that, he's like, I believe in my product so much, I'm going to let the installers do the talking. And it's what's happened. Like Kyle Whalen took it, and like he's been putting it through actual like real like weathering tests where he sprayed it all over a door panel in a car in the back of his shop and just let it sit in the sun. He's just letting it sit there, see if it stains. Doesn't stain anything. Doesn't get sticky. I've been hands on with it now, and that was even something that I did high risk, high reward during the competition. I used it in the competition for flat glass. That was the second time I ever used that stuff, and it was just like, if it gives me the reaction I need, I'll be good. But it was if you are going to factory top, like as soon as you did tack, like the sliding of your pattern, that shit's gone. Like, so
that's
anytime,
good, though. As long as it's in place.
As long as you nail it where you want to begin with, which I ran into like 1 or 2 things where it's like, oops, but it is what it is. I knew what I was risking. The reward was much higher. Like my windows came out extremely clean in numerous areas because I used that stuff and my edges locked, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited to use that on like French panes.
I'm excited to use that on safety film.
Yeah.
That's where I want to use it.
Ooh, that's interesting.
That could possibly solve any issue that we were having in the past when it comes to champagning on the top side of the window when you're trying to get it to lock. As soon as you squeegee through it, it's locked. So if it squeegees clear with a normal pattern, any issue when it comes to safety film, handled.
So my one reservation with using that stuff at scale is what is it doing long term to the adhesive?
So me and him talked about that. I guess all the stuff, which I mean, obviously what the next step is, I told him I would do. I need to call and order some from him because he wouldn't let me pay for anything, which I was like, dude, please let me buy it. Like you're starting a product, like let me buy it. I need to put an order in. I'm going to take some with me, or I'm just going to tell him where to drop ship it. I'm going to send some Miguel. Because the big thing is obviously getting it into the manufacturer's hands and letting them put it through weather testing, which that stuff obviously isn't cheap to do, but in my eyes, it will stop people from being so scared of installing safety film. If it gives it the reaction I think it's going to. I need to test it out first, but I told him that I would connect him with Miguel because I'd be the person that we'd want to talk to. But all of the main ingredients in it, from what the discussions me and him have had, are ingredients that get used in adhesive. So by technicality, it shouldn't do anything to it. But again, until you do the testing, you don't know, which people have been doing. I'm pretty sure he said, I want to say it's Johnson. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Johnson. Johnson's already said that they're going to start doing their testing in-house to see how it weathers with the glue. I think it's a great tool to use. I'm excited to kind of get my hands on it more, use it in more of a real life setting, either in here in the academy or like I said, with safety film. Because like even when it comes to small windows, if I can put a spray of that across the top and down the middle of
so he's an installer, right?
Yeah. He competed in auto.
I love the innovation in the industry with installers creating stuff to solve their own problems, and then it becomes like a smash hit product.
Yeah, he saw it. I mean, as far as I know, the conversation we had is he saw it being obviously gels are used in PPF, and it's for the same thing. It's for tacking and locking purposes, and it doesn't get absorbed into the glue. So as soon as you squeegee through it, it's tacked. And then he started messing with his own concoction. He showed me how he even makes it, like the motor and stuff he bought and the big drum, how it filters, like pours everything in, and then how it mixes it. It's cool to see. And I mean, off the experience of me using it and the other guys I know have used it in the industry and given their reviews, I mean, it's growing the right way. And the fact that he's putting it in the hands of all the right people that I wouldn't say have influence, but have some kind of a voice of our industry. And then it's getting nothing but great reviews. Like, you know, that was the one thing I was kind of like, just any kind of podium. I mean, if anything, I get to say, which I will, I want to do a video for him, like, you know, just for marketing purposes. Like, dude, your sauce made it into the finals from numerous people. Like, there were people that used it in the finals of auto. I used it in the finals of flat glass. We used it in decorative. We used the hell out of it in decorative. That stuff for graphics is amazing.
Yeah,
to be able to lay it and just give one little tack spot, and it just didn't move past that. We wouldn't have finished our window if we had to use soap and water.
With soap and water, the vinyl curls at the edges, takes forever to dry. That stuff was just like move it right into the place you want and then tack it, and it was done.
Yeah, so a huge shout out to him. It was great. And then also too, I want to say a huge shout out to Tint-Wiz, Eric, for help sponsor the team. The design of the shirts were awesome. We got nothing but great feedback with the shirts. Had the exact reaction that I was looking for. Like when I went to go get my pass the first day, one of their photographers like, "Can I get a picture real quick? Like your colors just pop." I'm like, "Perfect. It's exactly what I wanted to hear."
Where was Cody? Cody, where were you?
Yeah, probably working.
Yeah, no, I saw him.
We got to get him competing.
He looked like he was on some big jobs. He's even traveling for some big jobs.
Yeah, we got to get him.
Come on, man.
Hopefully I get to see him next week. So
yeah, but the whole Tint-Wiz crew that was there was awesome.
Yep.
Cadeau was running around. Got to see Dave a bunch.
Can't wait to see Cadeau's little side project. He posted a little preview of him working on his laptop on the plane, and it was a picture of me signing the camera. So he went around to a bunch of people. I had him sign. I'm excited to see that video. That video is going to turn out.
We got
cool.
Mom to do it and Michelle to do it. Too.
Oh, that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
But no, Tint-Wiz, Solar Guard, Steve, Rob, Nick. You know, the fact that you guys let me bring so many people and then help with everything, getting the name out there. I really do appreciate it. Fusion hooked us up with a bunch of tools for competing. You know, they're always taking care of us, but it was a fun competition this year. I was happy to have all the people. I'm excited to see where it's going to be next year. Usually they always tease us with what's going to happen next year. So look forward to that video when that happens.
And Window Film Mag, thank you for letting us do, which I got stuck going into last second.
Career Day. So I originally was supposed to go talk to a bunch of high schoolers. They had me talk, which the first one was, I wouldn't say it was a bus, but there was like 5 people in front of us. It was me, Chris Peterson, and I don't remember his name. The gentleman who won the rap last year. It was
that was this year? Or?
Yeah, it was a Q&A of champions. And like where they had it, I mean, there was like 5 people. So it's like we didn't have to wear the mics and they didn't have to wear the pieces. They just came up real close. And it was just, we got asked questions of how we've evolved, what was the hardest thing, and stuff like that. So we answered those questions. And that was right after my first round. So it's like I wanted to go see what my window looked like. So it's like as soon as I got done, I took off and went and did that. But the second thing they asked me to do was Career Day, which they moved the finals time up 30 minutes earlier. So I called Morgan. I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to talk 10 minutes before I compete. I'm sorry. And she's like, no, I was already about to call you and tell you, like, don't worry about it. I was like, but I have my brother. So I was able to call you and have you step in.
It was cool to see. They had a giant room full of a bunch of teenagers, mostly young men, some women. And I got over there as the guy with the glass industry was already talking, and he is just like a total pro dude. Sold a glass business for like 8 or 9 figures. He's talking about that, talking about how he bought all these jets and having Q&A with the kids, getting questions left and right, which they're asking him about, well, if you have jets, what cars did you buy? And it was just like, They're just like super interactive. And then they go up to announce that there's one more speaker, and then they call me up, and I'm just like not prepared at all. Decide I'm gonna try to be funny and bring up 6, 7 somehow, and they look at me like I'm stupid and laughed a little bit, and because I've got teenage kids, and I thought that would be funny. That thing I didn't do this though. I should have done this when I said it.
Oh yeah. 6 to 7 figures.
And then I go like after mumbling and just kind of trying to say something that sounds somewhat intelligent for like 5 or 6 minutes. All right, any questions? And it's like, we don't have any interest. I had like one kid ask a question, and they're like, all right, no more? All right, I'm out of here. But thank you for doing that. That was really cool. It's cool to see that they had that many kids there. I wish I would have been more prepared for you, but I didn't plan on doing that. So,
well, I pretty much plan on going up and just winging it.
Yeah, well, I did, and you're probably lucky it was me and not you.
Yeah.
It was cool though. I still haven't watched back the video. I'm like afraid to watch it because I was like,
oh, there's clips coming out.
I could tell that I was shaking. Like God damn it, stop.
Yeah, no, it was. I was looking forward to that just because of anything talking about the academy, and for me it would have been like it's not. Yeah, college is obviously if you're going for something you want to do, or you can learn a trait that you can take around the world. Yeah,
that's something I wish I would have like dug more into. Especially in the moment of everything that was going on. I should have definitely leaned into that more. But I think all the kids in that room are already probably on that path, it seemed like. So
6 figures of debt.
Yeah. Yeah, that was another one I could have done. Don't get into 6 or 7 figures of debt.
Oh, God. So terrible.
I'm trying to kill it. The more adults do it, the more kids are going to stop.
No, you're just going to become the new meme, dude. But no, it was fun being in Nevada, being able to have so many people there, be able to be in as many finals as we were with our logo being there. The videos that we're getting that Carlos is putting out is amazing.
Getting to spend time with everybody is really fun too.
That's the hardest part. Is like 2 of the nights, like it was cool having Luca there. His first time he got to watch me compete. Having Brittany back there too. Last time Brittany was at one of those was in Reno, so it was 10 years ago. So it was fun having my family there. But it's like 2 of the nights though. I've always used to try to call it early, especially on competition nights. But like one of the nights I didn't go to dinner because I have Luca literally telling Brittany like, "Where's Dad? Why is he doing this to us?" I'm like, this hurts a bit.
Yeah.
He wants to get my attention, which it's like I made my eyes made the right decision, especially for the finals, not finding out finals one night. I just canceled the dinner. I was like, I'm just going to stay where I'm at. I was spending time I had friends that live in Reno, so I was staying with them. But it's just like, I'd be like, all right, I'm about to leave. And then I take like 2 steps and I run into someone I haven't seen in a long time. And then we start talking and they got questions, and it's like, I'm not going to, like, I don't get to talk to these people that often. And also they're asking questions about the stuff that we've been talking about. So it's like, then all of a sudden you realize like, oh damn, I've been talking for like 30, 45 minutes. I got to go.
Yeah. So the very last night was the only night that I went down to the casino floor and hung out with everybody after getting all of our stuff put in the cars. Learned how to play craps. Lived in Vegas my whole life, never played, never been interested in playing. I don't gamble. Brody, so I go down, I got $40 cash, screw it, let's go down. Joe and his wife and a couple other people were at the roulette table. And I'm like, all right, I know roulette, let's go. And I just seen like a video on YouTube of somebody like playing the outsides and like picking 4 of them, and didn't really pay attention to it that much, but I'm kind of doing that. And playing like a couple of dollars on the numbers. I was playing 6 and 7 just to be a jackass. And I hit 7 like twice with a couple dollars on it. And so all of a sudden, and I've hit some of the outside numbers at the same time. And you had to have like $10 on each of those. And a couple times I hit like both of them at the same time with a number. And it's like I'm up to from $40 up to like 100 and something. And then Brody comes over and Brody's like, all right, you playing the outside? All right, cool. Here's what you're going to do. And he starts coaching me through basically what that YouTube video I was watching does. Play like 2 of the columns and 2 of the rows. And now you basically have everything covered but 4 numbers, and then split the zeros. And now it's like those 4 numbers are the only way you completely lose. If you just hit 1 row or 1 column, you're only losing a little bit. If you hit 2 of them, then you're winning. And kept hitting a row and a column together like a bunch of times. Then all of a sudden it starts hitting the 4 numbers that are like the only 4 numbers that I can't win on. And I'm getting down to like almost nothing. And I'm like, screw this. I've got 23 on the back of my jersey, and 23's hit a couple times and I'm not betting it. And everybody's like, why aren't you betting your number? And like the guy next to us is young, and he kept getting big hits playing the center like crazy, and he wasn't tipping. And Brody's like, dude, she's spinning the ball to make sure his numbers don't hit. Just don't bet this one. He has me like sit out too because the dude's not tipping and whatever. I'm like, all right, whatever. I put the center column and the basically where I'm covering 23 for both directions. And then I take all the rest of my chips, but like 5, and put them on 23. And then I put those on splitting 22 and 23. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm either done and I was cool with losing $40, or we're going to hit 23. And all of a sudden I've got like $400. He's like, all right, now we're going to go win some real money. Let's go to craps. We go over to the craps table. We don't realize it. We're not paying attention when we sit down, but people got a lot of money out. And so he starts showing me how to play. All right, we're going to do 6 and 8. And then like I kept winning. Dude keeps rolling, and I'm just stacking it up. And he's like, you can add on to those numbers. And he's explaining it to me.
You should have kept pressing.
I missed, and if I would have been pressing, I would have won thousands of dollars. Dude rolls 39 times.
Yeah, Jaybird told me
I had no clue what that meant until afterwards, as it was happening, and it was like, oh shit.
Like if I told Paul that, like the first time I rolled dice with Randon, I had the dice for like that. I had dice for like an hour. I told Paul about it, and he goes, anyone who knew what they were doing craps-wise should have walked off that table with $100,000.
The dude next to me, he was pressing religiously with like $25, and apparently he had rolled before that dude, and he made it into the 40s. And Brody knew him, and Brody knew he knew what he was doing, and he's some big up for some glass company. He had tens of thousands of dollars racked up. And once I kind of realized what was going on, I started pressing everything. And then I even like increased my main bet, and he kept hitting 4 too. But either way, I had a bunch of big hits between what I had racked up and what was on the board. Now I'm up to like 900. And then he finally rolls a 7. And so everything on the board goes away, but I'm still at like 700 or 800 or something. Now they're like, all right, now it's your turn. I'm like, no, I'm out of here. What are you guys talking? Everybody at the table was like, no, it's your first time. This table's hot. You have to roll. So then I start rolling, and it's going good, and like stacking stuff up again, and it's going good. And then I grab them and I throw it, and some dickhead puts his hand out to put a chip down, and the dice hit him, and it's 7s, and everybody's like, boo. And so, but I still walked away with like, turned $40 into like 5 something, and was like, okay, now I'm out of here. I'm going to bed. And that was at like 12:30. But I was like, okay, now I know how to play craps. That was actually pretty fun.
No, as soon as I left the dinner, I went straight home. We went and passed out. I knew my dumb ass should have looked at what time my tickets were. I didn't realize your guys' flight was at 6:30. I thought my flight was at 6. We got to the airport, and then I actually looked at the tickets after we got through security. I'm like, we're going to be here for a minute. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, our flight's at 7.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, but it was like Reno. You can get there 40 minutes beforehand. You're good. It's a very small airport. You can get straight through. So thankfully the bar was open, and we were able to sit down and eat breakfast. So we sat down, we ate breakfast, and then we obviously got on the flight and left. But it was like I was exhausted from the week. Every night went until like 10, and usually we'd go longer than that, but it was just one of those things. Like conversations get held up a long time, and then it's like, all right, dude, I got to go back. I got to go to sleep. And one of the nights, like I said, the first night, it was like I got a text from Brittany. Luca's wondering where you're at, and it was like 10 o'clock at night. So he kept waking up, and I wasn't next to him. So, which he is definitely the type where it's like if my attention is going somewhere else, he does not want it going in there. Which is I can't fault him for it. It makes me very happy.
Dude, the bobbleheads, we totally should have brought those down here.
Oh,
that was really cool too.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
The video that ended up, Jordan needed a video. So I was like, cool, perfect. I got a bobblehead. I went outside and like recorded it. And I didn't even think he was going to do what he did, because I was just sitting there like, he saw the original video. Like I was just trying to move it just to make it seem like it was talking. And then he went and grabbed AI and made it come to life. When I got that video back, I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like that
Luca running around with your bobblehead the rest of the weekend or week was pretty awesome.
It's going to be hard for me to get it down here.
So I bring mine home, show the kids, set it on the kitchen counter where they can't reach it. And not even 2 minutes later, I turn around and William climbed up, grabbed it, and twisted the head and fucking broke it in like a matter of 2 minutes. Like I was so angry. Like, oh, he's 3. I can't freak out.
So statue of daddy wanted to play with it. I mean, no, Luca.
He tore the head right off, dude.
Luca had my head twisted a little bit. I had to recorrect it, but yeah, no, he carried that thing around with him everywhere while we were there. He brought it everywhere. He brought it onto the plane with us. He did. It sat with him everywhere. So, but no, that was cool. The bobbleheads. And another thing too, doing that ceremony was cool. Getting called up there, and it's like Luca was there with me, and I told him like, "You want to come up with me?" He's like, "Yep." And I was like, "You're just gonna walk up there with me? Were they gonna tell me no? You can't bring your son?" He had his company shirt on, everything. Like, we can't bring your son there. I'm like. Try to stop me. He's coming up there with me.
No, they didn't care.
No. And then it was cool then you being called and being able to jump up there, take a picture together. That was cool. That was cool.
The cases they have too, that's going to be cool that's back every year and they're going to add people every year.
Yeah.
That was a really sweet addition. Window Film Mag keeps stepping it up.
Yeah,
on us.
that was cool. I like that a lot. So Sal had definitely the best one. His was awesome. Long locks.
His Marcus was really good too. What was the dude who won the rap? What's it? He's out. He was on our plane home. He was on our plane home. He's out here. He's in Vegas.
Yeah, he's. I checked this page. He was when I looked at this page. I thought it was Prump, but no, I talked to Jordan. He's in Henderson.
Yeah,
he reached out to us in 23.
His bobblehead's gonna be sick.
Yeah, he reached out to us in 23. Pretty much when it comes, I guess, freelancing. Yeah, for rap. So now we have someone else that we know for a certainty knows what he's doing. Yeah. So I got someone else that I can reach out to if I ever have a crazy project that I need someone to work on, to where it's like, yeah, you can do it. You're a world champion.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see his. Man. His is gonna be cool, man. That green mohawk was sweet.
Yeah.
I told Marcus, I'm like, you got to go over and be like, man, you're getting in on my action, bro.
But no, it was definitely a fun year. Look to compete next year again. I know I've made the comments of going to the judge side. I think I just had too much fun this year. And I mean, it's not even the fact that it's like the fact that I didn't win. Like, it was cool being in the finals again. I still got it to a point, and like I know what areas I fell short in, and it's just like, I just had too much fun.
And give the new setup another crack. I totally do too.
Yeah, no, it's as if I already know what things I'll be bringing with me and what I'll be going to the store and get. Huh? Well, yeah, and we'll have our videographer with us. His child will already be here. Oh, is that what it's going to be? I'll go. Yeah. So when Jordan comes next year, if I win again, it's because Jordan's with me. So, but no, it's yeah, that's true too. But no, I'll be bringing a ruler with me, a 40-inch ruler, and then I'll be going to a hardware store to get a piece of plexi. It's a small piece of plexi. So when I split my pattern, I have a factory edge on every single top without having to pull out multiple patterns if they don't change the rules. If they do change the rules, I'll probably do what Marcus did, and it's just pull out of the box a factory top to each window and just roll the excess back on there, which in my mind, you still should get knocked for having to pull 3 patterns out of the box. That's ridiculous.
Did he pull one big pattern and then just split the box and pull 2 smaller patterns?
What he did was, and this is what they wanted to see, the top window was 41 inches tall. So you split at 41, pull that out, and then on the next piece, you can split factory tops into the both sides because you have 2 factory edges. So you pull out the other piece, but you roll the excess back onto the roll, and they never see it. In my mind, if you cut anything off the box on the showroom floor, you should have to roll that up and put it in there so they can see how much film you used to get 3 patterns. If you have to use 6 feet to get 3 windows, you should get knocked for it. If you're the best in the world, you should be able to make it happen with 3 feet of film, in my eyes. But the hard part is, me and Sal and Dustin talked about it. The hard part is regulating that, especially when Brian's the only one on the show floor. They need 1 or 2 other people to help monitor. Against my own judgment, I like having only 1 person. You can, I don't say get away with things, but you can get away with things. But at the same time, everyone sees everything. That was the one thing that was talked about at the finals at the dinner was, and someone walked up and talked to Dylan, and I forget who else was there. And they're talking about, there was one guy who walked over to his tape measure and bent over and picked it up and walked out. It's like, maybe not. Maybe it fell from my tool pouch. Who knows? But yeah, is what it is. But that was the first thing Sal told me. He goes, I knew about the tape measure. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, Sal. And he goes, yes, you do. I'm like, no, I don't. But yeah, no. You think you can get away with anything. That's why you should be able to walk the competition floor. You can't get away with anything on that floor. Eyes are on everybody. Now, eyes might have obviously definitely on us because we have very bright shirts, but everybody sees everything. So if someone sees something happening that shouldn't be happening, it's going to knock someone down in the competition.
Yeah, but at that point, if you're allowed on the floor, you should just be allowed anywhere on the floor. Just you can't go fucking be like, hey, that's my window. Because everybody's looking at everybody's window.
I think it's
like
really
we had a
easy.
crowd full of people wearing these shirts staring at all the windows while they're being judged. The judges don't have time to pay attention to who's staring at what window.
That's my biggest thing is let everyone on the floor so we can actually experience the competition at the same time.
Well, and even the sponsors should want that too, because that's more people on the floor talking to their reps and looking at the equipment. That's the other thing we missed was the rock chip machine again too. Well, we never got it. We need to get online and just get it.
We do. But that was the one thing I told David Carley too, is that it's what's going to take. It takes all the competitors need to vocalize what because everyone had about the same thing that they wanted changed. So if everyone puts that on their sheet, they will do it. They made changes from last year, from the previous year to this year that were implemented because of what was said. So everyone just needs to be vocal. If the majority says, yes, we want this, it'll happen. Like I think if the majority says, hey, add an extra 2 feet around the competition floor to let Carlos and David Carroll come around and do commenting, and just they can't talk to no one. All they can do is walk around the outskirts to where they have a nice free path. Let them do their thing. It's more exposure. Yeah. Like the videos already prove that it works. Look how many views those videos have. People when they have
the comments are hilarious.
Oh, they're great. We still the one video that popped of me at
Tinder battles. Sports broadcasters go to die.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. It's great exposure. Yeah. So I'm going to be making that a comment. Other thing is I was talking to other people within that were competing. Like, let's take the rules they gave us and what we think should be added in there and send that back to Sarah. Like, hey, these are the adjustments I think you should make. Like, you need to clearly define what waste is. Waste is when you have to pull an extra piece of film and you've wasted that piece of film to where you had to go into your second piece, at least in flat glass. So that's what goes in the cardboard box. We had that question asked another 6 to 7 times at the meeting.
Well, that's another one that they'd have to be watching it like a hawk, because like me in the heat of the moment, when I had to recut all my patterns, I just threw everything up under the table. So it's like how did they know? They don't know.
Guarantee you someone told them.
I know, but I mean, it was obvious I'm not going to make the finals anyway. So if they went and told them, it's a waste of time. But still, like,
that's why I think you should just have your time to pull the 2 patterns. Your window is this wide, pull your 2 patterns.
I think the constraint on time is enough for how many patterns you pull to not matter. Like if you have to pull multiple pieces and you still pull off a perfect window, I don't think that should even matter. So if anything,
that should be the feedback then. Get rid of the whole waste, because auto doesn't do that. Auto is pull as much film as you want. Who cares?
Yeah, you've already constrained the time enough that if somebody can still pull off perfect, especially 3 perfect windows, and they've had to cut an extra piece, like they're a savage and they don't deserve to be deducted for doing that. If anything, they should get extra credit. Like,
yeah. So maybe that's the feedback we need to throw this year. Who cares about the wasted patterns in flat glass, which I do agree with. Yeah. Because I mean, PPF and both auto, it's if you don't like it, yank it. Make sure that it's customer perfect. Yeah. So that would probably be better.
Anyways.
Yeah. Well, it's a fun recap. I look forward to next year, and I look forward to Tinder battles coming up in January.
Yeah, that's gonna be sweet.
That should be fun. And I know there's a lot more movement now, especially with the videos that have been released. Like Carlos just dropped something.
Looks like it's going to be Tesla's.
He was asking about Tesla's. Actually, I think Tesla's sponsoring it.
Possibly, yeah. That'll be sweet. I think that's a good idea.
Well, everyone's saying X, which it's like,
I think it might be a combination. I think he's going to take the hardest thing off of each vehicle, and they're not.
Well, it's going to be a team event for you doing team auto, team flat, and then heat shrink battles. Will continue again. So
I think you do the 3 back window, the X windshield.
Just do an X.
Yeah.
Just the finals car being an X with a windshield. There are 13 windows on that car, and then you got to do a windshield too. Give a team of 2.
Just make it sexy and do every model.
Do a 2 hour time frame to do a full Tesla X windshield and the rest of the vehicle. 2 guys, that's a stretch. You have to be moving for the finals. Like you, and then it'll be fairly easy to judge.
Yeah. Well, and they're probably going to do what they've done in the past, where it's going to be multiple different competitions. So you could have the X windshield as the heat shrink battle, and you know what I mean, like.
He might have that.
Or
but
the 3 back
I don't
window.
think they're going to risk breaking X windshields for the heat
Well,
shrink.
then the
'cause that'd
3
be
back
expensive.
window.
3 back window. That'd be fun.
Oh.
But no, I want to talk to Carlos. I want to see if who the judges are for auto.
I was just really glad to see him there. Like for some reason, I didn't think he was going to be there. And
No,
then,
I knew he was going to be there. There's no reason. There's no way he was going to miss that. And
Yeah,
I'm
that
happy
was
they let
cool.
him do his commentating thing and they let him do the MC.
that was really cool.
Yeah. So, until next time, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. And like usual, follow, subscribe. If you have any person within the tint industry that you'd like to see us chat with, comment below and let us know.
Yeah. Or any ideas for any of these tint competitions? Comment. We'll try to.
We'll harass Sarah.
Yeah, we'll get them to somebody.
Well,